Hey everyone. Okay, so this week we talked through chapters 2 and 4, and they cover a lot of terminology, a lot of concepts, specifically around search engine optimization, organic and paid ads and results, and third party data. So, we are going to look at Google Analytics demo account. So, if you are not in your Google Gmail account, go ahead and sign in and then go to Google search engine, type in Google Analytics demo, click on the second search result, and it will take you to this page. We went through this last week in my little Hannah's Corner content. So now we're going to take it a step further. So go ahead and click Access Demo Account, which should take you to the audience overview that we looked at last week. Okay, so now that you're in audience overview, the automatic master view of the Google Merchandise Store, I want you to scroll down on this little tab over here, and I want you to scroll down till you see acquisition. Acquisition is super powerful when we're looking through analytics, especially for the Google Store. So go ahead and click that little drop down arrow, and it's going to pull up something very similar like the audience overview, but we're going to go to acquisitions overview. So go ahead and click that, and you are going to see a whole new homepage. It's awesome charts. So I want you to look at this. The data that I have pulled up right now is from April 8th to April 14th. I want to go ahead and point out one thing. You can customize it however you want. So I want to go back and see how their winter sales were doing, specifically around Christmas time, because that's when a lot of money is going through, right? So I'm going to click December 22nd through December 31st, and we're going to click Apply. This was also before the COVID-19, so sales were probably better during this point. Okay, so we've got it clicked right now to 100% all users. So anyone that accessed the Google Merchandise Store is included in this time period. So I want you to notice first the top channels widget. And a widget is like this little square. This is another widget. This is a widget. This is a widget. So I want you to look at the top channels widget and look at the blue percent. So this is organic searches. Now, an organic search means that it's not paid for. It's looked up through keywords, and a keyword can be anything that a user types in to a search browser. So an example might be something like a user came in and said, I want a Google t-shirt. And they typed that in, Google t-shirt, and the Google Merchandise Store came up. That would be an organic search because it wasn't paid for. It was just something that a keyword targeted. So 60% is accounted for all the users through organic searches. Direct means that it was through their URL. So they automatically typed in Google Merchandise Store in their URL and it pulled it up directly. Or it was saved through a bookmark. Referral could be anything from Facebook to another website. Social media is Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, anything that Google Merchandise Store could have paid for, but it's coming through a social media outlet. The little blue is other. Now, other means that Google has not set up the parameters, and a parameter could also be included. Say, for instance, they wanted to know if people were getting acquired on the Google Merchandise Store through an email. Emails are not automatically set up, so they would go in and set up a parameter, and we will get into how to set those up later through the semester, but I just want to point out that other means something that's probably not set up into the system automatically. An administrator would have to go in and set it up themselves. The green is affiliate. So this is somebody who is affiliated with Google. They might have a really awesome partnership. It could also just be another type of Google website. Display can be a display advertisement, maybe on Amazon. Maybe a person was looking through their Amazon website and said they wanted a Google t-shirt, and the Google advertisement or a display ad came up on that website. Now, notice that paid is not really existing on here. So the yellow in this chart is social, but the yellow here, I can't even pull it up because it's so teeny. So paid searches means that it was a paid advertisement on a search engine like Google, Bing, or Yahoo. Google probably does not pay for many of their own searches, A, because they probably can control algorithms, and B, not many people are probably looking at Google merchandise. Let's see, from December 22nd through the 31st, there were only 11,000 users on the website. I want you to look at the new users though. From 11,000, 10,000 of those were new users. So around like 1,300 were actually users that had already been on the website. How do you know that? Well, Google Analytics places what's called a cookie into your computer. And so if you were to go onto the Google merchandise store, they automatically place what's called a cookie in your computer. Now, a long time ago, when the internet was first getting big, cookies used to slow down people's computers and everybody hated them. Now, it's really not that big of a deal. They're so embedded and into JavaScript that it's not really that existent and it doesn't slow your computer down anymore. And more than likely, cookies will expire within 30 days. So again, 1,300 users were deriving from a previous cookie, whereas 10,000 got 10,000 new cookies added into their computer. So again, the organic searches yielded about 7,000 of the 11,000 people that were coming into the website. We can also look at the bounce rate. I want you to think about like the behavior of a bounce rate. Bounce rates are very interesting because they tell us how optimized our web page is. So whoever was searching for this, 52% of them clicked on the website and said, this isn't what I want, and clicked back out and went back to the search engine and typed in something else. So what this tells Google merchandise digital marketers, that their web page content is not doing well. You know this because if it's over 50%, that means your website isn't doing well. Currently, in this week that I've selected, from December 22nd through the 31st, it was so close to 50%. So their website was not doing as well as one would think, especially for owning Google and Google Analytics. Direct obviously had a lower bounce rate. That's actually a pretty decent bounce rate. Why was it lower? Because people were directly putting it into their URL. They knew exactly what they wanted to go to, right? So they weren't clicking off of it as much as people who were just randomly getting to the website through a search engine. I also want to note the e-commerce conversion rate. So conversions can be really anything. In this specific week, they only had 25 transactions. A conversion doesn't have to be a purchase. You can set a conversion up to just sign up for an email list or to download a PDF file. That can be a conversion too. It's all about the relationship you're building over time, which we will again talk later through. But there were 25 transactions in this week's data. So 15% came from the organic searches. So they just got really lucky in these 7,000, and that's how much it yielded on their a purchase event, which is what they're tracking specifically for their website. And we can adjust their conversions, and I will show you how to do that throughout the semester. So the direct, it yielded like so many, right? So many of the transactions. Down here, other actually had a really low bounce rate. So wherever other came from, and I'm going to go ahead and assume it's probably email campaigns due to the fact that they have a low bounce rate. So people were probably knowing exactly what they were looking for. And they also yielded a lot of the transactions, the e-commerce conversion rate. So I'm going to go ahead and just assume that this is probably an email campaign, but I don't know for sure because Google did not track that specific parameter. Here is a super high bounce rate. Their display ads, wherever their display ads are, is not doing well for them. So they had 209 visitors. They're paying probably a significant amount of money for display ads anyways, and there's only 200 visitors coming in. They had an 80% bounce rate, which means whatever the visitors were looking for, they did not find, and they automatically clicked off. Only 20% actually purchased or not even purchase. They just sought to look through the website because they had no e-commerce conversion rate. So this was a complete waste of money, and they probably have fixed that since then. And you can actually go ahead and check that. Let's go ahead and check it. See if they were tracking this better than, or they should have been tracking. So let's look at January 1st through the 12th. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so no, they're actually not looking at their display. Obviously, they think that it's doing well, and the digital marketer who is over this kind of needs to get on board with it. So this is an example of the acquisition overview. I want to look at one more thing through acquisition. So if you click on the drop-down box, you'll see Google Ads. Go ahead and click Google Ad. Ooh. Let's do campaigns. Okay, so Google Campaign tracks all the keywords through Google AdWords that are being tracked through paid advertisements. So these are all the paid advertisements. And I just wanted to show you, we will go into it more later this semester, but since we were on acquisition, I wanted to show you the campaign ID. Accessories is a keyword that Google AdWords is tracking through Google Analytics. There are no clicks. This is not a good keyword for accessories because accessories probably, when you type in accessory on your search engine, you're probably not wanting a Google accessory, right? You're probably thinking maybe jewelry, a necklace, something else that's more convenient. Google brand is not creating any clicks either. So just really think about this. This is something I want you to think about through the semester, and especially this week. If you were a Google Analytics digital marketer, what keywords would you use to create better clicks onto your website through a paid search engine? Now, this is something you don't have to turn this in, but I just want you to think about what keywords would you use on Google to draw people into the merchandise store. So I'm going to leave you here with this. You can go through and play with the webmaster again. You can do anything you want. It's not going to mess it up. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will catch you on Hannah's Content Corner later.